Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the September 30th, 2024 weekly Hoscale newsletter recap. You guys seem to like the first video, so I'm going to go ahead and keep doing these. I'm having a lot of fun just talking about new models that I see and things that are coming in. And as always, do me a favor, if you're new, hit the subscribe button, like the video if you enjoy, drop me a comment with anything you're interested in. And let's go ahead and kick it off here with the Scaletrains newsletter here. So the very first one that you've seen on the screen here are the museum quality SDL 39s in both the Milwaukee Road and Wisconsin Central schemes. They're the only two road names left, so if you were interested in picking those up, that's all they've got left there in the warehouse. So scrolling down here, you can see they got the early billboard for Milwaukee Road and then the Wisconsin Central road number ones here. And before I get too far into it, I did notice that the first video ran a little bit long, kind of a little bit rambly, so I'm going to just try to move this along a little bit and really spend time on the models I'm really interested in. So, moving here, the Scaletrains GP40s in Milwaukee Road are also going to be arriving in November. These look great. I don't have one on order, but I might pick one up in a couple months if they're still around. What you can totally see here are the rust-colored wheels really stick out, and they look pretty similar to that orange. So it's a great feature of the Scaletrains rivet counter models that they've added those rust wheels, and the model itself just looks great. So there's a ton of paint schemes available here. So lots of options for you. And similar here down, they have Milwaukee Road SD40-2s available here in N scale. So they give you a quick look. Again, I'm not an N scale guy, but I'll just kind of scroll through these so you can see and pause the video if you're interested. Some more N-scale Pullman standard covered hoppers here. Nice map of where they operated. And some in-use pictures as well. They do have more operator HO reefer containers in stock as well, as those pre-orders ran out. Similarly, the Gunderson covered hoppers are also in stock, as those pre-orders expired. I did pick up one of these. I did a review on the BNSF Great Northern Heritage in the hypotypical scheme, so go ahead. I'll link the video on the top right here, but take a look at that. I was really happy with it. So there's a lot of previously sold out models that are now limited in stock. And similarly here, the Operator Series, same thing with those Gunderson covered hoppers in the Operator Series, more in stock after those pre-orders expired. And something I also bought, I purchased 6 of these. So did a video on that, also linked in the top right here. So I purchased the Carrier HVAC with the conspicuity stripes versions here. They all had the Carrier HVAC. These models looked great. Big fan of them. I think I like them a little bit more than the first run with the roofline icicles, but check out my video and let me know what you think for that as well. They do have them available or coming available in N scale as well, so if you're interested, coming up here. And their newest museum quality release, the EMD SD45X, looking pretty good as well. I saw some videos on these. I think if I were gonna pick one up, it would have been the SP version, but I'm not super particular about it. I don't really need it right now. I've got more things coming that I'd rather pick up, but they're a very well done model, it seems. They've got the frog clank sounds, which are sort of the feature of the museum quality line as well. And of course they got the power pack on there. So there's some of those schemes. And then we've just got a billing update here. Only one right now for the N-scale SD40T-2s. I do have 2 of the HO scale Rio Grande versions coming. So that wraps up the Scaletrains newsletter here. And let's go ahead and check out Athearn's. Alright, so here are the new announcements in the Athearn newsletter. We've got a new run of the Genesis AC4400 CWs. So both red sill UP units and prime for grime units. So here's that image here. We've got Union Pacific looking great with that red sill. Canadian Pacific models with the dual flags as well. Some Ferrosur, the Norfolk Southern CEFX patch and CIT group, as well as those prime for grime, sort of the doors worn, engine blown turbo type things. I don't have any of those models. They look pretty good, so I might eventually pick one up. and then some GECX XUP units. Here's a list of all those features here. So they're releasing at an MSRP of $370, so pretty standard with the times so far. So back to the newsletter here. We've got a big announcement, a new run of the big boy in the Heartland of America Tour scheme in both HO and N scale. So taking a look here at the HO scale, you get the locomotive as well as the snow bus caboose, which wasn't on the train or in the consist when I saw it in Rochelle, Illinois. But if you saw it along, I believe in Texas is where that caboose was on the train. But it's got some new features here that we haven't seen before. The new style of big boy font on the door, as well as the updated tender markings. And the biggest part are the PTC equipment additions. So there's a picture of it. I believe it looks like it's in Rochelle. Correct me if I'm wrong, but $900 for the set here with DCC and sound. Here's a whole list of all those features here. So if you're interested, very excited for this one, and we'll get to it here, but Broadway Limited is also doing a new run, and we'll check that out here as well. They got some more detail shots than Athearn has in their newsletter here. And then back over to our newsletter, so finishing up those, we got a new run of the PS covered hoppers, 4740s and 4427s in N scale, as well as 30,000 gallon ethanol tank cars in HO and N scale. Not super interested in these, just cool to see another variety of product. I don't really know much about them, so let me know if you have good experiences with them. We've got HO and N scale milk cars, pretty cool for some steam era models there, as well as the HO scale wide vision caboose. Pretty neat. I don't think I need those. There's nothing specific paint schemes currently offered that I think I need. But again, good to have some variety. And then some truck trailers and dollies here, you can see in HO scale. And then an Athearn Roundhouse release here, the old time box cart, which I think is just a fun name here. But that about rounds up the Athearn newsletter. Let's go ahead and take a look at Broadway Limited. All right, welcome to the September edition of the Broadway Flyer. So Broadway Limited does this cool thing where they'll put out questions on social media and they'll include them in the flyer. I don't think we'll take quite a look at them, but it's just a cool thing that they're involved with the community like that. So the first thing here, we've got a new announcement in both HO scale and N scale. In HO, the shark noses are coming. So I don't think I'll be picking these up, but it's very cool. I think they look really nice. As well as SD40-2s in N scale, which is neat. A lot of manufacturers have done these, but another option, they've got some cool paint schemes offered here in both Paragon 4 and Stealth in both those HO scale and N scale models. And then James got a feature here for the CV setter for Broadway Limited. I've not used it as I don't have any BLI locomotives or Paragon decoders, but just pretty cool. And an update here, here's an image of the Santa Fe 3751 that they're going to be making, and they had one of their guys out there taking live sounds from it, so I'm expecting them to have some good sounds on that model. I don't have one on order or pre-ordered or anything. I just think steam engines are cool, and I just haven't picked one up yet. I don't really know what my first big steam locomotive purchase is going to be, so I'm still on the fence here, but a couple order deadlines to be aware of here. If you got anything coming. And then just some sample pictures here of the Pennsylvania B6 SB switcher. I think these look really cool unpainted because you can see everything that is die cast and all the metal versus the plastic bits or brass. I know that Lionel in O scale will actually produce some of these that are unpainted like this, but typically the HO scale manufacturers don't sell these. They kind of keep them around or paint them into the correct scheme. And getting down here, we've got a teaser here for the Fox River Theater inspection car. So I do have the Kenefick on order, and if I flip over here to their Instagram, they had the first pre-production sample arrive that's unpainted. So it's all in black here. This currently has the shield style railings. I ordered the one with the lighted drum with the Big Boy Tour logo on it. So very similar, just a different railing style here. But here's some good pictures of it if you haven't seen it already. I think this looks fabulous. But back over to the newsletter here. We have the track inspection car, which looks great. So I've seen some people kit bashing their own, making their own recently. So this will be awesome for them if you want those perfect models that Broadway Limited is pretty much known for, looking for that really fine detail, as well as the power car, which looks fun. I've never seen any other car like it. I got to see it in person with the big boy. Um, so it's really, really cool to see them doing more of the excursion fleet. I know Walthers does a lot of really good Walther in their Walthers Proto line does a really good job of modeling the excursion fleet, but I haven't seen either of these cars mentioned as potential additions to those sets. And then, like I said earlier, they're going to have a new run of the UP Big Boys with the most accurate PTC details, as they say. But I'm very interested here. So we have three dynamos here for the PTC system. While if I zoomed in, I won't show you because it's a little grainy, but on the Athearn model, there's only two. So I didn't get any shots from that side of the big boy to tell for myself if there's three or two, but if Broadway's saying there's three and Athearn's saying there's two, um, we'll see which one's actually correct as well. But it did seem like that both models did have the correct detail behind the tender here, which they say is the antenna box on there. But these are the two companies, Athearn and Broadway Limited, that have been putting out a lot of big boys recently. So these should look great. In either case, you can't really go wrong. It's just if you really care about the specific details, but I think they're going to look great either way. And moving down here, they mentioned that a new run of GS4 is in the works, as well as the Santa Fe 2900 class. That's the model that they were doing sound samples from as well. And then the delivery schedule here, the most um, notable here to be on your radar are the die-cast SD70 ACEs, as well as the PRR Q2 duplexes. They were both featured in a Broadway Limited YouTube video, but I don't really want to rip them off here, so just going to show this list here is the models coming. The Kenefick is that Union Pacific Business Car number 119 here. Um, that's still scheduled to arrive in December, so I'm excited for that one here. And then just some more update here with the Conductors Club, Big Boy and Challenger there. I'm not a member. I don't buy enough Broadway Limited stuff to be yet. Um, but if you are and you've ordered that model, just a heads up. And then there's the rest of that order schedule. And then I'm just going to highlight a couple questions here from the Q&A, talking about additional Pennsylvania passenger cars being on the books. Not currently in the works here. They're focusing on the N-scale versions of those HO cars. Um, and then doing individual passenger cars instead of like a full set. I was trying to snag a California Zephyr set from Facebook, but unfortunately it's sold beforehand. So they do some good passenger car sets, but not individually here. So if they do another streamlined train, maybe they'll do that. So that'd be really sweet to see. And then the Southern Pacific AC9s and AC11 and 12 as well. So that's another cool model that I'd be excited to see. So I think that just about wraps up everything I wanted to pick out from the Broadway Limited newsletter. Just going to scroll through here. Wanted to pause the video and take a look at some of the other questions. Again, really cool that Broadway Limited does this. But I did also want to mention here that Rapido just posted a production sample of the new Bud Gallery cars for Metra. I do have two sets of these in order, a Metra BNSF and Metra Burlington set. So definitely be on the lookout for those. I'm super excited for them to show up, um, as well as the Metra F40 PHM-2 locomotives. So I'll be doing reviews of both of them, and these are probably the models that I'm most excited for showing up this year. But with that, I think that'll just about wrap up our recap for the week. Thanks for tuning in. Again, do me a favor and subscribe if you're new. Like the video if you enjoyed. Drop me a comment about anything here that piqued your interest, anything you're excited about or you're purchasing. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.